All right, Giants fans, what's going on? Uh, I'm at my parents' house in the parking lot right now, just chilling. Me and my fiance, we're just chilling for the weekend. And I meant to make this video earlier, but I figured I'd make it now, uh, before the game starts. Um, I'll be completely honest, though. This is probably like my my seventh take. I'm trying to get this like concise and right, but honestly, I might just stop doing that. I might just do first takes and just let it ride. No, no one expects you to be perfect all the time. I don't know why I do that to myself. Been sitting in this car with no AC for. Luckily, it's not. Luckily, it's not sunny outside right now. It's pretty rainy, so not that uncomfortable. Anyways, let's get it going. So look, everybody already knows the news. It's been out for a few days. Jaxson is now our starting quarterback. He'll make his first start tomorrow, Sunday, versus the Los Angeles Chargers at Giants are at home. So my initial thoughts on it. The positives. Well, Jaxson Dart gets some real-time football, real-time starting NFL football, reps. Not against, preseason defenses, but against real defenses that we're going to scheme, and try to exploit his greenness. You already know. So it's good. He's getting his reps. He's getting his. We're going to get to see, so far, how can he manage in the NFL system. And personally, I it's gonna sound crazy. I hope he win, and I hope he does great. Even if we win or lose, I just hope he does great. I hope he looks competent. If not for our sake, for his sake, wherever he may end up after these shenanigans go on. Now we'll go to so this has anything I say like negative has nothing to do with Jaxson Dart. I hope he does good. I hope he has fun, and I hope he stays healthy, and I hope he looks good. Honestly. Because personally, even if we fire everyone and he's still there, I know new regimes don't usually draft or usually don't take on someone else's quarterback when they come in. So that's highly unlikely. But if he looks really, really, really good, someone might be willing to let him be the quarterback, and that'll take care of half their workload. We have the quarterback, so now we can focus on everything else. That would be my dream scenario right now. Because I don't see a scenario at all where Daboll keeps his job and as a result, everybody else. So I'm John Mayer. I'm cleaning house and nothing works. I'm sorry. Even if Brian Daboll, in my opinion, is the true cause of all these issues the last few years, I still got to get rid of everybody. I'm sorry. But I mean, if he splits them up, I won't be mad. I think so. I guess we'll go to the negatives now. The negatives are that I feel like this is a desperate move by Brian Daboll that it most likely will end up getting him and everyone else around him fired. I was in favor of Mara keeping both Joe Shane and Brian Daboll. That way, if things go wrong again, you fire both. The issue with that, though, is that they're in a position to get a quarterback. And normally you want a new regime to pick the quarterback so that everything's fresh. And then you don't end up with this situation where if these guys do end up getting fired, you have a quarterback just sitting here that the next regime might not want. So then it kind of resets things again. And you don't want to do that. So I understood that. And people were making that point before, and they were saying we should have just fired them. My thing was either whether you fired or hired, you keep both. Keep them at the hip and get rid of everyone if things don't work out, whether it's this year or the year after. So I get it. And if they end up being right, they end up being right, and that's cool with me. If we should have just fired them all, that's fine. But back to what I was saying, it's unfortunate. Joe Shane to me wasn't that bad of a GM. He's made some bad decisions. He never really truly fixed the line. He got a lot of pieces that don't seem like they're working out too much. I mean, I'm about to say half his draft picks are at least still starters, but there's still some growing pains. They're all young and they're trying to figure it out. Another good portion of his draft picks, especially the linemen, outside of Marcus Bose, seem like they haven't really worked out. JMS is just barely hanging on. Evan Neal, we already know about Evan Neal. Marcus McKeith and the other dude, I forgot his name. He got injured. He was one of our swing tackles. He got injured. Names on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. But yeah, Joe Shane's had some hits. I mean, obviously Neighbors, Scattaboo, Wandale's decent. But you know, there's a good portion of his draft picks that Kayvon as well. But a good portion of his draft picks haven't hit. So I understand people want to get him fired, but I really don't think he was that bad of a GM. I really think most of the issue has been Brian Daboll, because when you bring the ingredients to the kitchen, the cook has to take those ingredients and turn that into something delicious. What has Brian Daboll done with the ingredients? Absolutely nothing. His best season was 2022, before Joe Sheen even had a chance to really get a whole crop of, that was his first draft year. That was Brian Daboll's best season, was 2022, at least the first half of it. Don't know how we won those games. But that was my headphones falling out. But yeah, I don't know, man. Brian Daboll to me is the true cause of all this, and the whole decision of Jaxson Dart even starting week 4 so soon, when the plan we all thought was that he sits at least for half the season, if not the whole season, if things really go well, but at least half the season, past some of the hardest games on this incredibly hard schedule. That's what we thought was going to happen, but all of a sudden he starts week 4. Now, what's the face value? Like, what's the, when you say, why is he starting week 4? What is most people going to say? Russell Wilson stinks. Russell Wilson has stunk. There's no question. And no matter how I feel about Daboll, Russell Wilson has stunk. And he's been limited in other places, but in our inept offense, he just flat out stinks and can't score. So I get that point. We all knew he was gonna be benched at some point for Dart. We all knew that. I was thinking we'd at least look, competitive, at least score some points. Maybe still lose, but at least score some points. Remember, I said 6 wins. 6 wins was my minimum. That's a very generous amount, given the pure misery we've been going through these last few years on the Daboll. And I said, just give me 6 wins. 6 wins is the minimum, because I know this team. Just give me 6 wins. He came and gave me 6 wins, y'all. Brian Daboll, man. So 0-3, he's already like, man, I'm about to get fired, man. I'm making this move. He said multiple times in the press conference that this is his decision. His decision. His decision. This is Brian Daboll's decision to start Jaxson Dart week 4 against the freaking Chargers. The undefeated Chargers. So that's why I'm down on the play. I like Jaxson Dart. I do believe in him, but I'm down on all this because I believe this was not him starting week 4 is not due to football reasons. I believe it is due purely to political reasons, AKA, I got to save my job. I'm going to show these people that I'm the guy. I'm putting in my guy. This is my guy. So, completely going against the plan just so you can save your job. So, honestly, screw Brian Daboll. On top of that, I heard from Bad Dog Sports, who I'm sure a lot of Giants fans know who Bad Dog Sports is. If you don't, go look him up and go subscribe. Guy's awesome. I've been watching him for years. Bad Dog Sports. He said, I don't know where he got it from, but he said, and I think there's tweets to back it up, that players didn't even know Jaxson Dart was starting until they saw it on social media. So that's how greasy, slimy, and disgusting of a head coach Brian Daboll is, and an organization the Giants are. That's what I'm talking about. The fact that the players don't even know that he's starting until they see it on social media. There's no meeting, no get together. You couldn't hear it from the coach first. You had to see it from online. It's just it's crap. It's crap. This organization is trash. It's garbage. And Brian Daboll is the worst part of it. Other than John Mara, Brian Daboll is the worst part of it. It's a dumpster fire. So I wish the kid well, but I don't believe he's going to do anything because the offense is trash. The offensive coach is trash. And he's throwing the kid out there at the detriment of his early career to save his career. So I'm done with him, man. Brian Daboll should have been fired so much earlier than even last season. And he definitely should be fired. If this game looks just as bad as all the other games have looked, Brian Daboll should. I don't care. I don't care, man. Brian Daboll should be fired because I can't imagine another coach. I can't imagine Mike Kafka being any worse than Brian Daboll. I would just do it, man. Let Kafka have an interim run as head coach and see where it goes. If we do better, maybe Kafka could get a job somewhere else, man. And that'll do good for him. Because poor Kafka's had to put up with this Brian Daboll BS for all these seasons, man. He's the play caller. Now he's not the play caller. He's the play caller. No, he's not the play caller. Are you kidding me? I used to blame Kafka for everything, but now I know it's Daboll, bro. I'm sorry, Kafka. I'm sorry, Mike Kafka. I'm sorry you and the rest of your staff has had to put up with that tyrant, that bald fraud for all these years, but it's finally being exposed. Great awakening. All the Giants fans are understanding that Brian Daboll is the main issue. And him putting Jaxson Dart on the front lines and pushing his chips to the table is indicative of where we are in this timeline. Brian Daboll knows it. The people in that building know it. And I believe the fans are starting to know that Brian Daboll is the main issue. And he is finally, with the success of not just Saquon Barkley, but Daniel Jones himself, Brian Daboll is finally being exposed for the fraud and charlatan and fake coach that I've known him to be since last season. And I think some fans have probably known for years. It's over, and I'm glad it's being exposed. So it's weird for me to sit here and say I want Jaxson Dart. I want to win, and I want Jaxson Dart to succeed, but I also want Brian Daboll to be fired. I'll say this. I'm going to let the great thing about the NFL is that the fake, even if it takes a while, the fake always gets exposed. The narratives will always be exposed in the NFL because you cannot refute clear results for too long. Some people do. Some people see clear results and keep going. But eventually, even you have to come to the decision that what you're seeing is not an illusion. It's not an aberration. What you're seeing is exactly what you may have feared, but exactly what you thought. Brian Daboll, his whole career has been predicated off of the success of Josh Allen. Josh Allen made Brian Daboll's career. But if you want to be more specific, with the addition of QB coach Ken Dorsey, he was the one that came in and really got into the weeds and really got into the integral parts to help Josh Allen become who he is today. That's my belief. I could be wrong. That's my belief. Because when Ken Dorsey got there, the offense jumped. You can give Brian Daboll some of that credit, but tell me why Josh Allen's gotten better since he left. Oh, wait. Brian Daboll is a fraud, a charlatan. We fell for the bait, and unfortunately, the Giants were once again a desperate organization ran by a desperate owner, takes in a hot commodity coach that honestly couldn't coach, and we have another failed regime. After this, I hope Brian Daboll's fired, Mike Kafka as an interim, or even it could be a defensive coach. I don't care. It'll probably be Mike Kafka because of the rookie quarterback. Mike Kafka, interim coach for the rest of the season. Get Daboll out of the building. Prepare to clean house at the end of the season. John Mara steps down, finds somebody to make the actual football decisions, and we move on from there. That is my dream scenario for the Giants to have success in the future. And also that Jaxson Dart looks so good that a coach and a GM are willing to let him be the quarterback, even if they come in with a new regime. If all that can happen, I can definitely wake up with a smile on my face and say, win or lose, go Big Blue. But until then, this team sucks. And that's it for the video. 15 minutes is long enough. I appreciate y'all sticking with me. Let's just see what happens Sunday. So, God bless you. Take care.